So how are you holding up? How are you doing out there in the wonderful world today? Everybody wants to have something, little bit of something. Like everyone has different ideas. So just like I said before, any views that I share here on this channel are my own. I want to have that disclaimer, just because if I say something wacky or weird or something that actually is like totally right on, I'm going to get all the credit for it. And I don't want to be associated with anybody that doesn't have my back. Or I don't want to be associated, or some people just don't want to be associated with me, so that's fine with me. So there's a lot of different directions to go with this vlogging today. But the one thing that I probably shared before is what was said by my pastor years ago, that says, the goal is not to marry, but the goal is to marry well. So chew on that for a minute. Because some guys, maybe some guys aren't, but for the majority of men, they want to be married. Women want to be married too. But to get married, just to get married, is kind of maybe what I've done in the past. This time around, I'm going to try the extreme vetting. The extreme vetting thing, like the 5 F's. You know, faith is like priority. That's something that you guys have to have in common, because if you don't have that in common, forget it. And then I guess your friendships, you don't really have to have common friendships, but you got to be able to tolerate each other's friendships, because that's going to be, it could cause a little bit of stress in a relationship, believe it or not. And then fun is one thing that you got to consider, is the amount of fun, the way that you approach fun, you know, and what is fun. You guys got to have that in common too, because if you don't have a common fun, and fun could also cover that one category that you'll find out after you're married. So that might be a work in progress. So believe it or not, it's not like the movies. And finances, that's another kind of important thing to have in mind when you are doing extreme vetting. And I probably said it before in my other vloggings, but it's pretty important that you guys got that down, because if you don't, it's going to be an issue. And then the other things that you may, I mean, there's a lot to consider, you know. If you just want to go and try all the different cars and never buy a car, then I guess you're never going to really be fulfilled in your life. In the sense, like fulfillment, like having a understanding of like how you connect, and the way that you have to be sacrificial. And ultimately, yeah, you want to have a mutual sacrificial relationship. You want to have that ultimate connection, but it's not something that in this cursed creation, this cursed world we live in, you're not going to be able to find that kind of ultimate fulfillment without Christ, for one. And in this world, you're not going to be fulfilled, because like your partner may be up front like super awesome, super wonderful. Like for me, it's like seeking that one girl with the heart of gold. It's a figure of speech, but you got to just think about the excuse me, you have to think about a lot. And when you're like post-divorce, that's the real good time to look at everything and look at the big picture. And how my divorce took a while to get the status, they call it the status, to get the single status back. Took a few minutes, but I think in the long run, I'm glad it did take so long, because it was a good time for me to regroup and to first seek God. Seek God, you know. Uh, well, God seeks you too, but I mean, the whole thing is to draw close to God during this time. If you have a faith in God, that's why it's faith, your family, your friends, your finances, and your fun. Like family. If you're around your family and your family doesn't approve of your relationship, that might be something to really consider, because your family knows you the best, and your friends know you, but for sure, like your closest acquaintances, hopefully your closest acquaintances might know somebody that might be a good match with you, but that's kind of weird in this society when everybody's all like kind of all over the place.